A apparently little incident has created a wave of discourse in the busy metropolis of New York, where the streets are alive with the sounds of honking cabs, talking people, and the incessant buzz of city life. One cool fall morning, many have said Steffy, a well-known member of her community, was observed hurriedly leaving her apartment in a hypocritical manner. Despite its seeming smallness, this episode has sparked a larger conversation on the nature of hypocrisy, the stresses of contemporary life, and the demands put on those in the public eye. Who is Steffy in Chapter 1? It's critical to first examine Steffy's personality in order to comprehend the seriousness of the problem. Stephanie Harper, sometimes known as Steffy, is a 32-year-old marketing executive who works for a prestigious Manhattan advertising firm. She has established a solid reputation as a proponent of work-life balance over the years and often shares her thoughts and counsel on social media sites like Instagram and Twitter. With more than 100,000 followers, Steffy has established herself as a bit of an influencer thanks to her inspirational messages encouraging others to calm down, take care of themselves, and resist the stresses of contemporary life. Steffy often stresses the value of mindfulness, self-care, and being in the present moment in her postings. She often posts pictures of herself doing relaxing things like yoga in the park, drinking tea by her window, or curled up with a book in her apartment's quiet corner. Her admirers look up to her as a ray of hope in the turbulent world of work, with many of them being young professionals juggling employment pressures. Chapter 2, The Event. The aforementioned occurrence happened on a normal Tuesday morning. Eyewitnesses said that Steffy was spotted frantically running out of her apartment building. She was holding her phone and a coffee cup in one hand while wearing a business suit and seemed to be rushing. The calm, collected demeanor that Steffy presents online was quite different from the picture of her in such a situation. Those who saw her that morning were aware of this disparity. A number of onlookers observed that Steffy didn't seem at all relaxed or composed, rather like she was anxious and worried. Many found her rushed manner and the fact that she was obviously running late for something to be contradictory. This was, after all, the same Steffy who had long exhorted us to live life slowly and to take each day as it comes. Chapter 3, The Consequences. The inhabitants of Steffy's building were the first to hear about her hasty departure, and word soon got out to the larger neighborhood. Before long, someone took a quick photo of her in a hurried mood and shared it on social media. The picture became widely popular very fast, generating a lot of debate and comments. Several of her fans voiced their shock and dissatisfaction, pointing out the sharp discrepancy between her actions in real life and her online image. The episode sparked a wider discussion regarding social media's nature and the online identities users adopt. It emphasized the disconnect between people's perceptions of the outside world and their actual daily experiences. Many others use Steffy's behavior as a warning that even those who seem to be in control may have weak or inconsistent moments. Chapter 4. The Debate on Hypocrisy. The idea of hypocrisy lies at the center of the dispute. By definition, hypocrisy is the act of claiming to have values, attitudes, or convictions that one does not really possess or live by. In Steffy's case, many saw her Tuesday morning activities as hypocritical as they went against the principles she openly espouses. But the discussion around Steffy's actions is more nuanced than it first seems. Some contend that she should be held responsible for living out her words rather than her deeds and that her acts were in fact hypocritical. Some, on the other hand, adopt a more forgiving stance, contending that Steffy's brief moment of haste was just a typical human reaction to a difficult circumstance and does not inherently undermine the principles she upholds. The expectations we have of public personalities, particularly those who see themselves as role models, are a bigger topic that this argument touches on. The temptation to live up to one's public reputation may be tremendous in the era of social media, when every move can be closely examined and evaluated. Steffy's situation serves as a reminder of how difficult it can be to keep a constant image, particularly in the face of unforeseen obstacles in life. Chapter 5. The Reaction of Steffy. Steffy said nothing publicly and refrained from posting anything on social media in the days that followed the event. Her silence simply served to intensify rumors and conversation about her actions. While some saw her pause as an admission of guilt, others thought she was giving herself some space to think before answering. Finally, after a week of heavy media attention, Steffy broke her quiet with a long Instagram post. She recognized both the event and the criticism in her post. She acknowledged that she had been rushing that morning and gave the explanation that she had been running late for a crucial meeting that had been postponed at the last minute. She acknowledged that she was just human and that, like everyone else, she has periods of weakness and expressed sorrow for not living up to the ideals she advocates. Reactions to Steffy's article were not unanimous. Although a portion of her supporters valued her openness and susceptibility, others remained unforgiving, charging her with rationalizing her actions. The tweet sparked a fresh discussion on hypocrisy, with some claiming that Steffy was correct to acknowledge her behavior and others believing that it did not go far enough to address the problem. Chapter 6. The Wider Consequences. A more extensive conversation about the nature of social media and the need to preserve a constant public persona has been spurred by the Steffy event. The boundaries between one's public and private life are becoming more and more hazy in the era of Instagram and Twitter, when every moment can be shared and closely examined. As a result, people are now expected to live up to the online personalities they establish, particularly those in the public spotlight. The situation of Steffy also calls into question the definition of hypocrisy. Promoting ideals that one sometimes falls short of, is it hypocritical? Or is it just a reflection of the reality that we are all fallible human beings trying to make the most of a difficult world? There are no simple solutions to these difficult topics. The event also emphasizes how social media shapes our opinions of other people. In Steffy's instance, her online identity was deliberately constructed to project a certain self-image. But the event has shown us that her life is far more complex and nuanced than that. Many individuals may identify with this gap between appearance and truth, since we are all faced with the difficulties of projecting a certain picture of oneself to the outside world. Chapter 7. The Effect on Steffy's Public Image and Career. Both Steffy's public image and career have been significantly impacted by the tragedy. Her performance as a marketing executive is directly correlated with her own brand. She is being questioned about her sincerity and integrity as a professional and as an influencer due to the controversies surrounding her actions. Concerns over the event have been raised by a few of Steffy's customers and co-workers, who wonder whether Steffy is really able to live up to the ideals she advocates. This has sparked conjecture regarding her professional future and her ability to win back the confidence of her clients and supporters. Conversely, others feel that Steffy may eventually benefit from the experience as a good turning point. She has the chance to reinvent her brand and show the public a more genuine side of herself by owning up to her errors and being honest about her hardships. Her audience may be able to relate to this since many of them could value her relatability and honesty. Chapter 8. Takeaways and Future Directions. The Steffy incident serves as a reminder of the difficulties in keeping up a constant public image and the complexity of contemporary living. It draws attention to the reality that we are all fallible human beings who struggle to live up to the expectations and demands that society places on us. The tragedy has humbled Steffy, making her face the discrepancy between her actions in private and her public image. She said on Instagram that she was determined to be more conscious of her behavior going forward, and that the event had taught her some important lessons. Steffy has the chance to improve her public persona going ahead by being more genuine and open with her audience. This can include giving a more realistic account of the difficulties and obstacles she encounters on a daily basis as opposed to only showcasing an idealized portrayal of herself. She may build stronger relationships and win back her fans' trust by doing this. Chapter 9. Social media's impact on public perception. The Steffy affair also brings up significant issues about how social media shapes public opinion. Social media sites like Instagram and Twitter have developed into effective tools in the digital era for people to manage and create their public personas. These platforms do, however, also put pressure on users to project an idealized and polished image of themselves, which may be difficult to maintain in the face of obstacles in real life. Steffy's situation highlights the risks associated with this pressure, since the discrepancy between her actions in real life and her online identity resulted in